All right. What's up, everybody? Red Hot Trade here. Needed to hold a emergency live for this today because I'm seeing a massive move in Bitcoin about to come up. So, if anybody here is a perps trader or just a long time Bitcoin holder, then this would just be something that really interests you. The 4 hour is an extremely important time frame when we're looking at longer term moves, right? So you can see here we had a couple weeks ago we had that really bad dive on Bitcoin. It was never ending bleeding, right? So we had that move to the downside. We chopped a little bit between 74 and 80, but it was mostly downside as well. But here we're in a huge range where there's been a lot of consolidation. And this can go back even further to a couple years ago, right? So we're looking at this range here. We go all the way back, and we can see here in April 2025, we chopped in this range. And then going back even further to October 2024, this is when we had the initial move up, right? So I can zoom in a little bit more to this. But we had this initial move to the upside, right? This is going to be an extremely important level for Bitcoin. That is something that everybody should be watching extremely closely. So I'm going to go back to present day. We can see we've had some support here at 75, and then it finally gave out, right? We broke down on the daily after chopping quite a bit in this area as well. And now we're sitting here in a massive wedge. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about when I say there is an emergency time right now. It couldn't be any more crucial for Bitcoin to either break out of 69K and make the move up to 75 to establish a new support, or else we're going down to the mid 50s. And then that's as big of a move as you can get. Because if we do decide, bulls decide that they're kind of backing out, there's a lot of macro news going on right now. If bulls decide that they're tapping out, it could be a long crypto winter. And Puxatani Phil isn't gonna have anything, isn't gonna be able to say anything about it. You know, there's no Binance man coming out of the out of their hole and checking out their shadow. It's not going to make a difference, right? Trump's not pulling up. There's no policy he can make that's going to be unless you know they're saying that there's trillions of dollars worth of capital sitting on the sidelines for Bitcoin to get injected once legislation passes. But until then, we can't count on it, right? We can only count on the volume and the price action that we're seeing. And currently, if we pull down, this is just the daily, but if we pull out to the 4 hour, we can see we've been really stuck in an elongated wedge, right? There's this wedge that's formed after the initial downside move to around 59K. We pulled back up. We chopped in this zone between 71 and 69, gave that up a week ago, moved back up, and now we've been rejecting this trend line. So my guess is we've already rejected 69K again a couple days ago, and now we're looking to make another test. We've tested it on the previous 3 4 hour candles, 3 4 hour candles in a row. And something that is a good rule of thumb as any trader should be knowing that if you are testing resistance more than one time, then the more you test it, the more price goes and pushes up to it, the weaker that resistance gets, right? And same goes for supports. The more times that a support is tested, the weaker that it gets. So what we need to do is be extremely aware of probably, I'm going to say around 67.8, 67.9, 68, around there. If we break above that level, it is an extremely bullish case for a move back up to 71, which is a relatively small move. I know that's not that exciting, but if we don't, this is where things get exciting. If we do not, and we break below 65, 65.5 area where we tested just around the other day, a couple days ago, we tested that 65.5 and we bounced off of that. If we break below that, I'm telling you, it is a wrap. It might not happen that day. It might not happen within a week. But in the next 8 weeks, if we are below 65K, we are making the move to 58. And just put that out there. I'm putting that out there. I needed to get this across to everybody because there are a lot of people with mixed signals right now. A lot of people are too bearish, which makes me, a little bit more optimistic. Whenever you see the crowd being a little bit leaning too hard one way, you can kind of guarantee that we're going to do the opposite thing, right? But there's a lot of macro news out there right now that's not looking favorable for people to put money into risk-on assets. You can see that in the stock market, they've been moving out of extremely risk-on tech stocks, and then they've been pushing their money to defensive sectors, right? So if this continues, Bitcoin is proving to not be the greatest hedge against a weak dollar. It's proving to not be correlated heavily with precious metals. Gold and silver had their giant move, and nothing really came about on Bitcoin. There wasn't a similar move. It didn't move in lockstep. It actually fell and it lost value quite a bit. So now that we're seeing all these different, narratives that were around Bitcoin, like the defense against a weak dollar, protection against inflation, precious metal correlation, all these things starting to fall apart, we could see a risk-off approach when it comes to crypto, which would put Bitcoin in a prolongated bearish winter, pretty much. It's not Armageddon necessarily for crypto, but it's not great. So what you need to watch is this current 4-hour chart, this wedge that's forming. If we break below it, goodbye. See you guys in September. Bitcoin is going to take a massive dump. But if we break above, 69 and we hold above 70, we could see, some prolonged period of chop in between this 61 or 69 and 71, 72-ish level. And that's it. That's as, it's as dire as it gets when it comes to crypto. There's nothing that's going to be more important in this cycle than this next move in the next week or two. And it will dictate how the rest of the year will look, and it'll dictate whether liquidity is going to be going into crypto or not into the summer and past. A lot of people will bring up the 4-year cycle, right? The 4-year cycle. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. Milo, relax. The 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle has happened. We've had an extremely massive move to the upside of Bitcoin. We hit as high as 126,000. And now, after that 4-year cycle is done, we usually see what we've seen in the last, 12 years is that every 4 years, Bitcoin loses 70% of its value from the high, which would put us way closer to 40 than it would put us at 90, anything like that. So unless that 4-year cycle is going to completely break, you could kind of assume that is with these cycles that a move towards 50 is almost all but in the cards as far as we're concerned. So right now, if you're a crypto perps trader, I'd be building into some lower leverage short positions the higher we get towards 70, and in planning on holding those out into the next 8 weeks. Maybe 6, but or maybe even 4. It depends. With the Iran situation, some people are speculating that Iran is going to be doing a lot of money laundering through crypto. I don't think so. I don't think that's going to be the liquidity that Bitcoin needs to push up. There's a lot of weird narratives. I think there's a lot of coping going on right now, and that's not a good sign for bulls. So what you want to do is the closer we pull up to 70, if we break out of this wedge between this 71 and 69, I'd be looking to take a long-term lower leverage, not like a 30, 40x leverage, you know what I mean? I'm talking 5 to 10, 15 maximum x leverage, and shorting in this green box. This is where you'll be able to build up a good short, and then you have a good risk to reward, right? You can get out of the short position if we break below 74.5, this upper level here where we had previous support, and add shorts in this box, and then hold on here, possibly add some more here, and then look to short all the way down here. So if we're down to 59, 58. So if we're looking at a potential short position, we enter here, with our risk here. I have too many things on this chart right now. Here, if we have this risk here, right, and then we have it down to here, we've got a 4-to-1 risk to reward, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, 4-to-1 risk to reward here when it comes to shorts. If we're taking it in that green box, you know, and then we're keeping our stop loss above 74.5, and we're targeting 58. We have a nice risk to reward. You know, we have 4% of upside for the stop loss, and then a potential 16% move to the downside. So this is where we're gonna, or 18% move to the downside. So this is what I'm watching right now. I just wanted to come in with a quick emergency cast so I could let you guys know what I'm seeing here and why I think this is so important for everybody who's actively trading crypto to recognize that there's a massive opportunity here. Throughout this weekend, I don't expect much to go on, but if I was, I'd be trading a little bit higher leverage Bitcoin for scalps in these small ranges, maybe taking shorts off of this trend line here, and seeing how things go. I just want to end it with one thing. If you guys are going to be trading crypto, in trading with leverage and everything like that, I highly recommend using Blowfin. My link is it's in the YouTube description and it's on my Twitter profile. Sign up there and get a 10% deposit bonus, and come trade with me. If you guys do sign up and use my code REDHOT, RHT, I'll give you a free link to our Telegram, and you guys can see what I'm doing in real time. All right, so that is about it. I just wanted to keep it short and sweet. This is only about 17 minutes. Just wanted to let you guys know what I'm seeing. Take a look at Bitcoin. Have these levels. Take a screenshot now if you want. I'll do a good pose. And make sure you get that. Make sure you get that screenshot so you know these levels to watch, right? And we'll just take it as it comes in the next 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks, I think, is going to be a major point in this cycle to determine what goes on into the later parts of 2026. So thank you for showing up. Make sure to subscribe and follow Red Hot Trade on X and on YouTube. And I'll be doing these live streams every day at New York Open. So that'll be around 9:30 a.m. EST. We've been pushing it back, but now it's finally going to start on Monday. So hopefully we can catch some great moves together on leverage off New York Open when Bitcoin is most volatile. And yeah, love to see you guys there. So